Hello, Delicia.
Hi, Robbie.
Do you know you're one of my favorite directors?
You are one of my favorite directors, but thank you. And what I love about your work is that it's breathtaking. Like literally, there's always some moment that like takes my breath away.
Likewise. I mean, I've told you this before, but I always feel like you're one of the few directors that I think is leaning with form and like, and it might be because you work with so many on new plays, but it seems like you're always trying to mess with the way we tell stories, which I think it can be difficult, but you do an amazing job at it.
I think that might be more the playwrights credit than mine. I think I'm a little bit old fashioned in a way. Like I am always like I always like a sort of clean. I always like a story driven
Mm.
play. Like I'm attracted to story. I'm attracted to characters. And so, and then creative writers like play with form, and I try and tell a simple story in the context of a creative form.
Mm.
I would say
What
depends
what
on the play, though. Actually, so
right?
yeah.
Do you find like depending on, let's say the play is a canvas, depending on the state of the canvas, your composition has to shift?
Uh, yeah, I do because I think I work with what's the playwright's intent, and then how can I use my talents and the talents of the rest of the company to to articulate that intent to an audience.
Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about your life, your creative journey?
Like since the beginning or right
Since,
now
since
and during coronavirus.
the beginning. Because I met you in when I was working for the Kennedy Center because you were there workshopping a play.
Oh, yeah. I started my journey actually because I'm old. I started my journey as a stage manager because in the old days, that's how you became a director. Like the stage managers directed the touring company and all that. And so when I started undergrad and my professors found out I wanted to be a director, they were like, "Oh, well, you should stage manage." So I started as a stage, and this was before like there was a huge division between stage management programs and directing programs because at my university at UT Austin, the first year grads would stage manage for the second year grads and the third year grads.
Oh,
So as a way to see the whole process. So that really is how I started. So when I left um, undergrad and moved to New York, my day job was stage managing. I got my equity card as a stage manager to let me have health insurance, that kind of thing.
mm.
And I got to observe the work of some really great directors.
Did you act?
No.
And so
I mean,
what?
I did. I had to in high school and college a little bit, but I knew by the time I was, I think, a junior in high school that I loved directing and I didn't love acting. I went to the performing arts high school in Houston. And so I started as an actor. I auditioned to get in, and we had to re-audition at the end of every year to stay in. And so we did. I did that anyway, even though, like I said, by the time I was a junior, I knew I wanted to be a director. And my my theater teachers supported that. And so I got to AD and the main stage productions. And so it was cool.
So what took you from New York stage managing to opening, founding, directing a new theater company, Moxie Theater in San Diego?
While I was in New York, I directed smaller projects and I assisted off Broadway, mostly a second stage. I also and I one of my mentors is Carol Rothman at Second Stage Theater, uh, and and so I could talk to her about and later Chris Burney about wanting to start a theater, and and so being able to bounce ideas off of a founding artistic director like Carol, like the best advice she gave me was, you can't start a theater company with any unless you and the other people share taste. It doesn't have to be exact same taste, but it has to be close enough.
Mm.
And so, and that advice tended to ring truer and truer as I would get into these discussions with other New Yorkers about starting a theater company. But they like German expressionism, and I liked, something. I mean, that taste thing is for sure a huge thing. But right towards the my last year in New York, I did the Drama League's Directors Fellowship, which that's a great. I did the summer program, which is put me in Ithaca with 3 other directors, and it was fabulous. But then my husband, who is a designer, wanted to go to grad school, so that's how we got here.
Did he go to UCSD?
He went to UCSD for scenic and lighting design.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so,
and he always wanted to go to grad school. So I found out I was pregnant, and then we moved across the country. That's how it happened. And so to get to Moxie, I worked with Jennifer Thorne, Lieve Kellgren, and Joanne Glover on the other projects. We had been working together all the time for other people's theaters. And then we started talking about, like, what would it look like if we formed the theater ourselves? What would those values be? And so we met for like a year before we incorporated and started Moxie.
What, when you're curating seasons or reading new plays, what about a play speaks to you that you say, I have to tell this story?
I think I like language. Like, I like the way playwrights use language. So I always look for that, because I think that's one of the ways that differentiates theater from other storytelling mediums. Like, the way a playwright uses language is how we get imagery and how we get, right? I like bold characters. And I always ask myself, like, do I want to spend an hour and a half to 3 hours with these people? Like, do I want to be in the room hearing from them? Right. So those are some of the things. And I like the way, like, language, I would say. I'm a director who's mostly moved by words. Like, I don't see in pictures. And so the language is how I get imagery. So that's the first thing really that I look for.
Yeah, I always think about that, how language driven our art form is. I mean, even calling it the audience, they hear the play, and you go to the library to read a play. There's something about every word mattering. Do you have advice for, like, young artists, young directors trying to break into the business? Maybe now is not the best time, but just in general.
Right. I would say the one, like, you could go to school or you could just direct a bunch of stuff, right? I mean, like, I think when I'm talking to young directors who are thinking about grad school or not, I think you can self-produce and, like, do projects with your friends, and maybe it's going to be terrible, even though you think it's the best thing in the world. But the more I am a person who learns by doing. You just have to know, like, what's your best. Like, I can observe, and then I want to get my hands dirty and make my own mistakes. And you can't be afraid to fail. Right. And so learning what your own learning style is the first step. But also, I think, for me, like, one of the things I think about now that I'm 50 and I've been directing for a while, like, how do I keep learning and how do I keep growing? And the way I do that for myself is, first of all, seeing other people, like, seeing your work, like, what are the kids doing that I don't know about? And if there's something that you do that I don't know how to do, I'm going to ask you about it, because that I'm going to ask. So there is this thing of being a mentor, but also listening to mentees and learning from them. And I had a really great opportunity before I stepped down from Moxie, when I was working closely with Jen Thorne. I learned a lot of things from her. She's so good at transitions, so much better at me than me at them. I would say, Jen, hey, come look at my transitions and tell me what you think. I mean, like, I think that continued learning and is important to continued growth, or just in general, continued growth is important. Otherwise, you get stale and you're doing the same work you did 30 years ago.
Mm. Why do you think failure is so vital in art making?
I think really because art is subjective. Like, no matter how great it is, somebody's going to hate it, and no matter how bad it is, somebody's going to love it. It's going to touch somebody. If you are working from a place of wanting to have impact, right? And sometimes it just doesn't work. And so that's just it hardly ever works, in fact. I mean, like, it's so rare that you have the perfect script with the perfect cast that hits at the perfect time and all the critics love it, and all the audiences love it. Like, that hardly ever happens. It's always somebody likes it and somebody hates it, right? And so because it's already subjective, you have to be able to, it hurts when it's not successful. So I don't want, so it's not like failure is easy, it's hard. But I always say I learn more from my bad reviews than I do my good ones, because it's never as bad as they say, but it's also never as good as they say, right? But after the initial pain of it, I can take a step back and go, oh, now I understand what they mean by it was shrill, or that informs the next time I work, right? So
How do you, I think the one thing that was really hard for me starting out directing was being able to distinguish between an artistic success and a commercial success. And sometimes they don't go hand in hand.
right.
And being okay with knowing at the end of the day how I treated my craft, and like you said, how do I raise the bar and tolerate less from myself next time, is all that really mattered, because you have to drown out the noise sometimes. But sometimes
Right.
it's hard to distinguish.
Well, I actually, I don't know if I think about commercial versus artistic success. And I bet I mean, like, because observing your work, and you're such an artist, like sometimes I think about it more like, is it having impact or not? Did it have the impact that I intended or not? Right. And sometimes the impact is, and also when you work on new places, it's a little harder, because, if it's something that everybody knows, if you're doing Anne Frank or Raisin in the Sun, people know those titles and they want to see those titles. So, but it doesn't mean that the production was any better or worse than the other thing you did by the small play that nobody heard of, right? So it's it's a tricky question in that regard. But I think when I think about, like, plays that I wish had done financially better, more, I think, or more commercially better, I think, was I too, did the audience not have a way into the work, right? Because, like, they're like, MFer with a hat. Can I say motherfucker with a hat? Right? Motherfucker with a hat, right? What became a commercial success, but there would have been no way to judge that, right?
Right.
Based on the material. So
Right.
It really is the intention, it's the artistry that goes into the work, really.
Right.
Like, I don't think you can plan for commercial success, but it doesn't mean that something smaller won't be a commercial success.
Yeah. One of my favorite shows I've seen in a while was a show you directed, Voyeurs de Venus. And there was something about it that I was just so grateful for, because not only did I think it was bold, and I said to myself sitting there, I said, there's no other theater in San Diego that would produce a play like this. And it would take a director like Delicia to champion this, get behind it, and trust that her audience will, like you said, that there'll be an in for her audience, and that we'll be on the ride, because it was not only was it difficult to watch, sometimes graphic, but I felt like you were playing with the style in which you were telling the story, and the scenes even started just kind of switch tonally, which you don't see that very much. You're either in like Chekhovian realism or you're in a stylized world. You're not going back and forth. And I thought you did it so beautifully.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. And I would say that, speaking of champions, it was really Jen Thorne who, because I came to Moxie as a guest director to work on it. So it was her vision to program the play and ask me to direct it. And then there was something about that work, and it didn't hit everybody in the same way, right? I would be interested in, like, the most positive response I've gotten actually has been from Black women and white men. Like, not from white women, didn't dig that play very much, I think, or that production, I should say. So that's interesting to me, right? I mean, but at the same time, it's a very Black female play, and I made some casting choices where that might have been really interesting to white men. Like, the bad guy usually is separate than the guy who plays the husband. Those are generally two separate actors, but making that the same white guy, it worked a kind of magic in that production that I was just instinct for me, but still was magic for me.
Yeah,
I think. And when I'm working on a play like that, even though it was hard to live in the pain of Sarah Bartman, I am still looking for, because I'm a Black woman who is thrilled to be Black and female, right? And so I can't make that story then about how much it sucks to be Black and female, right? Right? That can't be my angle, because I love being me. And so, and that is what I was trying. Sure, but it's complicated being me in the world in which we live. And so those were kind of some of the things I was thinking about in terms of what I wanted the audience to take away.
Wow. Do you have something that you're really proud of that you've worked on recently?
Well, I'm proud of Venus. I was working on, before it got canceled, a brand new play at Humana Festival. It was a basketball play. And
with Joy
Jones,
right?
Huh?
With Joy Jones in it?
Yeah, Joy Jones was in it. It was, it's called Flex, and it's by Candace Jones, and she's from Arkansas. So it's set in rural Arkansas, the dawn of the WNBA. But what's impressive about that work, besides how beautiful the language is that all the actors, 6 females, 5 of them are a high school girls team, and they have to play basketball on stage, like literally play basketball, like right there in front of you. And so it required the actors to be both like vocally on top of their game, on top of their language chops, and then physically to be not just choreograph basketball, but you can't travel. You can't, I mean, like, you really have to know what you're doing, and you have to take the shots, right? And the playwright wrote in, like, if they miss, this is what she says. If she hits it, this is what she says.
Wow.
So the expectation is that the actors will play basketball. And so watching that come together, and I was sitting in tech right before we got canceled, and I was thinking, oh, this is kind of this is going to be thrilling for an audience to watch this, to be in the room with this. Yeah. And so I'm really proud of that work.
Will you be able to
get to see it? We did a reading of it for at a Playwrights Center in Minneapolis via Zoom, but it's not the same. The physicality is everything in that play, and the physicality is thrilling. And I didn't think, because I'm more of a football fan, so I didn't think that I would be able to pull that off, but it was great. I had a lot of help, of course, but we had a coach, and then we're in Kentucky, that's a basketball town, and the playwright also played high school basketball. So yeah, it was great.
Wow. Did you work with a choreographer?
No, we didn't have a choreographer. We had a coach.
Wow.
Who taught them the Flex isn't the name of an offensive play that a team runs. She taught them that, but also, like, there was a one-on-one game. I would say this is what needs to happen, and then she would make sure that their basketball skills could make that happen.
Wow. That would have been so amazing to see because now as a does the audience know that if someone misses the script changes?
No, not necessarily, but I mean, and there's only one place. There's one place where it's a big thing. Otherwise, it's like in there. Next time. I mean, that kind of thing.
Right.
And then, but uh, they would practice a play and then go into a like 2-on-3 kind of drill, and that was like real basketball. Like you would watch them defend each other or take a charge, or yeah, that's fun. Somebody's gonna pick that play up, and I can't wait because it's great.
Do you have a favorite basketball team?
I like the Warriors. I know basketball's not really my sport,
Of
but
course.
I did love the Warriors. I started like really paying attention to basketball right when the Warriors were lost to the Clippers. Yeah, when the Clippers act like I started watching basketball sort of more as a fan when the Clippers racist owner was getting ousted,
Right.
and then the Warriors was on they were just starting, but there was something about that team, and that's about when it started my basketball fandom.
Mm. Do you so talk to us a little bit about like what are you doing now? Do you feel like this need to stay creative or are you just like loving being at home with your family?
Both actually. I it seems like I'm doing something like every week. So last week I did a reading, and I've been watching. Moxie is doing Zoom Fest, so I've seen a couple of those, and that's been fun. Watch that with the family, but also I've been like we're all eating dinner together, and then after dinner we play a game together, like so poker or or dominoes we played. And so that's been fun, like hanging out with the kids, and uh after we like they have school, and then we eat dinner, and then we do something together.
Mm.
Yeah. So I also I knitted something for my daughter because she wanted a wall covering, so I'm being creative that way as well.
And it
Reading
August is in
plays,
college,
actually.
right?
I'm reading plays. Yeah,
August is in college, right?
right.
Mm.
And Zoe is a senior who is not going to be able to graduate probably. Or she will graduate, but she's not going to have the ceremony and all of that. So that is kind of sad for Zoe. But um, yeah, but they both have on screen Zoom classes.
Mm. What
I feel like this is a very rambly.
Oh no, it's not at all.
Like, we're just like kind of chatting.
Well, yeah, it's like we're hanging out at a
Yeah,
bar.
it is sort of like we're hanging out. How are you?
I'm good. I'm pretty
How are
good.
you keeping your creative juices going?
Reading, walking, drawing. Um, yeah, staying in some sort of routine has helped me.
And are you home alone?
Yes.
Uh, I've been walking with my husband. We haven't the last couple of days because of the rain, but the walk, being outside helps.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I noticed the mood shift when it was raining this past few days.
Yeah, right. Me too. Actually, I'm getting restless. Today was beautiful, but I didn't walk because I was waiting to talk to you. But the,
Maybe
the
after.
but after this, I'm gonna walk.
Yeah. What so how do you think can you take a guess at maybe how once the theater doors reopen in the fall, how do you think things will shift? Do you think it will be business as usual, or do you think there will be a big shift in the way we make theater?
I think this is yeah. I'm not quite sure. I mean, like I think this like the opportunity to view theater not just through Zoom, but other things that are streaming, right? Or you can watch plays on. I hope that we don't move more towards digital theater because I miss being in a room with an audience,
Yeah.
and uh, and that sort of this sort of like energy between the audience and the actors. Even though that sounds cliche, it's totally true. I miss that. Um, certain things just don't translate to screen.
Yeah.
That like there's a sort of, so I imagine that we'll probably all be re-embracing our theatricality. The things that only we can do in the theater as opposed to on film.
Yeah.
Or on screen, I should say. And so I'm looking forward to, like, you know, 5 girls playing basketball in the round with an audience of 2 feet away, and or, you know, blackouts and lights up and scrims and turntables and all the things, light cues.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's light and sound cues. Yeah, for sure. So I think one of the things actually that I find for myself is that sometimes it's hard for me to go to theater because it's what I do for a living. And then, so especially when my kids were younger, I didn't see a lot of work outside of Moxie, because for my kids, that was like, well, weren't you at work all week and now you're going to go back to work? Right. And I suspect that when the pandemic is settled down, that I will enjoy being an audience member again, more fully. Actually, I'll see probably lots more theater than I have over the last 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you? Why do you think theater matters?
Well, I think it matters because it's the way that we come together for. I love theater for the same reasons that I loved church as a kid, which is everybody gathered to hear a story that speaks to, like, our shared humanity in some way, and so I think it because we're human, theater matters. It's a way to examine our humanity in whatever form it comes in, and in whatever style it comes in, and I also think it's an opportunity for exploration of of people who are different than us, of like looking is a way to understand common humanity. So that's why I think it matters.
That was a beautiful answer.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I'm rambling this whole time with you. Let's just start over. I haven't been having very many conversations about theater intellectually. I've been having intellectual conversations with my college student about politics, but yeah, a lot of intellectual conversations about politics in my house lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your husband, you said he was a designer. He works in film now, doesn't he?
TV and film, right. As an art director. And so, yeah, Hollywood is shut down as well, as well. So, yeah, we're all here.
Will you talk a little bit about some of your favorite playwrights?
That's hard because I always love playwrights. Like, I love playwrights the way that other people like rock stars, right? Like, every play I work on is my favorite play, and is by my favorite playwright in the moment. And I find that, and when I feel that, I feel like that's the thing about me as a director, that I can connect the play to when I get excited about the play, that's the bridge to the audience, for the audience to get excited about the play. So when I fall in love with the playwright, which I do, I'm hoping that the audience will also fall in love with the playwright. So I love every playwright that I've ever directed. So right now, my new girlfriend is Candace Jones, who wrote Flex. I think she's a name nobody knows that I feel like everybody's going to know a year from now. Everybody. so talented. And I love Lydia Diamond. I love Liz Duffy Adams. I'm sad to say, because of all the years that I spent at Moxie, I hardly even know the guys who write plays. I mostly know female playwrights and queer playwrights, and I do not know male playwrights as well. And so,
That's good. I mean, they're holding their own.
I know they're holding their own, but
no, but it's good that you're a champion of female voices and queer voices. I mean, I think
right.
there needs to be more people.
Yeah. And there are, I feel like that's true, but I also feel like I really love, and I'm a big fan of the Kilroys and everything they do, because I know more playwrights because of their list. It gave me a way not to be stale at Moxie, right? Not to like use just the same 5 playwrights that I have been producing. But also, even if I don't necessarily dig the particular play I read off the list, there's something about the voices that they put together that's always compelling. Like, I'm always interested in the voice, at least. And the playwrights writing now, there's a lot of great writing happening. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, unique writing too.
Yeah, totally unique and specific, like in terms of well, and also even when it's historically based, there's some like something like cool about it, or like there's some style thing that's happening. I just think, I in general think writers are tremendous, but like I love the plays that I'm reading by new playwrights right now. It's really inspiring. And it makes me want to go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. How was it working on Lauren's play, Great Leap? I love that play. I love Lauren.
Yeah, you did it at the festival at the Old Globe, right?
Yeah, a reading.
A reading, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I think that Lauren is, I just felt like you said, like she's a rock star. I felt honored to be in her world, and I learned a lot. I mean, basketball is, I grew up with it in North Carolina, and I played it. And,
oh, right, you did.
And so it felt like a nice fit for me, but also I don't know, there's a rhythm to her language that is unique to that world. And I also feel like in all of Lauren's plays, there is a big secret, usually within the family, that when revealed, and only when revealed, can some sort of catharsis happen. And I don't know, I love her plays. She has an ability to make a piece of history that maybe not many of us know, or they don't know a certain side of it, and she takes that piece of history and she can make it fresh.
Yeah, I love how she how irrelevant she is. Not irrelevant, irreverent. Right, is what I meant. And at the same time, respectful. Like there's something like her work is really theatrical, and it's not precious. Right? She's not, the writing's not precious. It is bold and like really like free. Like that's what I love about her write. I feel like she's such a free writer. It's like she trusts her own imagination. And then you go on a ride with her, right?
Right. Yeah, and I love the little nothingness. Like, I love writers that will put little nuggets in the play, that as you're mining week 2, you're like, I wonder if this like silly Star Wars reference means anything. And then you rewatch the scene and you go, oh, this is the scene where Luke is discovering trying to figure out who his father is. It was a
Right.
play about a boy trying to discover his dad. Of course, it's just one little line, but of course
Right.
she would put that in the tapestry,
Which can seem like it, and I love that she's not afraid to let her characters be uh, a wide range from like silly to completely serious. I mean, like grave. And so that I like her range, the range of the characters as well
Yeah.
as the freedom of the writing, the muscularity of it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What
She's great. She's a rock star. You're right.
So I asked you to find something in your house, an item that was personal to you, and tell us like a show and tell.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this little figurine, can you see her?
Uh-huh.
She's like made out of 70s plastic, and she's wearing like a little mini skirt.
Oh, I love it.
And when I was in New York, I stage managed a show that the young actor, he was 19. He gave me this on opening night for good show, and he said to me, "You are so cool. You should build a shrine to yourself and put this on it." And so I did, and I called it the Goddess Table. Now I don't have the Goddess Table anymore since I moved to New York. I have like shelving, but she started the Goddess Table, and the Goddess Table is where, and now it's really Goddess Shelves, where I put like gifts that are that people give me that are significant to me. Some of them are good show gifts. Some of them are cards that really move me that I still have. And so that's why this means everything to me. I think everybody should build themselves a Goddess Table and build themselves a shrine to themselves.
I love that.
But really, it just reminds me that that in our work we have the ability to touch people's lives in profound ways and small ways, and so I put things on that shelf now that touch me or that are significant of me touching. Like I have a card from a young Muslim woman who I directed a play written by a Jewish teenager for Playwrights Project. And she was too young to play the actress, but it was set in Tel Aviv, and it's a Palestinian couple. And I made her the AD, and I would say to her, "Oh, like this moment they pray before they eat, I want it to be like a prayer, but not a real prayer, so it's not sacrilegious." And she was like, "Wait, why would it be sacrilegious? You're not Muslim." Like, "Yeah, but somebody is. Your parents are." Like, right. Or I would say, "I still wanted to be beautiful, but you know." Or I would ask her other questions about Islam, and she would go home and ask her parents about it. So she wrote me a card that I have that says, "Thank you for showing me what's beautiful in my own culture." Right. So that's on my Goddess Table, because it brought her closer with her parents. She would have to talk, because she grew up in Jordan wanting to read only in English and watch American TV. And I mean, right. So that's why I mean, like the whole experience was beautiful. So that's on my Goddess Table.
That's amazing.
Or shelves.
So when you're feeling blue, you just look at your table.
Right, exactly. Or I read through those cards and I go, "Oh, this is why I do this." Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You sound, you really have like a specific like personal mission statement, I feel like, as an artist, where a lot of people, maybe I don't see it as specific as you. Do you ever like or try and articulate what that is? Because your work shows it,
Yeah, I think, like, I'm from the South originally. And my granddad is a preacher. I grew up in church. Like I said, I love church for the same reason I love theater. Right. I mean, I was in church all the time except Monday, so it was a natural transition. And my mom, it breaks her heart that I don't go to church anymore. But but a sense of community and a sense of like purpose is what like church at its best is about, right? How it is about, that's my mom calling me. I think my phone is off. I don't know how to decline, Mom.
She felt you saying that you don't go to church.
Right, exactly. And she's like, you better get, I'm praying. Pray for me, Mom. Okay. So, but like, I don't know, like a sense of purpose and the desire to uplift people is part of, you know, even with a dark story. I mean, sometimes you can have the best catharsis from a sad story, right? Sometimes it's really cathartic to cry.
Yeah.
At something. Like, I'm never trying to be destructive. I mean, like, I am for me, I am attracted to those things that are like, this is why we're alive, not like, this is why humanity sucks. I mean, like, I mean, because and in fact, in truth, both things. I like it when it's a combination of both things. When it is like, we have capacity for great harm and also great good. And then what are the choices we make, right? That illustrate that, or how the choices have impact. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you make a few we statements in solidarity with other artists right now?
We will get through this. We all still rock. We I already said we're in this together. What? Wait, you got to make a we statement, and then I'll keep
We
the ball rolling.
We can pick up where we left off.
I don't think we can do that.
We
will be better because of this.
Yeah.
We will be stronger because of this. And we always do well when our backs are against the wall. Right? Yeah. It's true. And because it reminds us that we are together, because so often we're in our own theaters doing our own things.
Yeah. Right. Someone the other day said to me that as artists, we are used to working from scarcity, but we create abundance from it with our resources. And there's something about that is, I sense it now more than ever.
Yeah. I ran a small nonprofit, so I was always making magic with little. So I mean, like, but working out of, and I think that this is just my personality, but working out of we are gonna make magic with this $5 and all this love is a part of how I am most creative. And so I think this is, I'm glad you said that, because I think this is a chance for us to all realize that we don't have to work from scarcity. That we can, that even when our budgets are low, we can still expect excellence.
Yeah.
With what we have, or we can make, because that's what we do in theater anyway, is make $1 look like 100, right? And so, and that in itself is a brilliant talent. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I remember being like maybe I was in high school, later in high school, and I went to see a big show at a regional theater, and there's these beautiful like sconces, like things around sconces. And when I got up close, they were so stunning. I realized they were like Dixie plates. I mean, they were like, right, paper plates. And it was like, whoa, wow, they look so expensive, but really they're probably 10 cents each.
Right, magic. Yeah, that's magic. What we make in the theater. Magic. And so we will make, that's another statement, we will make magic again.
Yes.
And you definitely will make magic. What are you working on now? Next?
Well, I don't know.
When you get back?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah. I had 3 things that I was going to do, but they all were canceled, so I don't know now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still Cygnet.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still at Cygnet.
What are you gonna do next? Do you know?
All of my things were canceled too, so I don't know. But I'm not scared. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. I'm sad because I was looking forward to all those projects. I was looking forward to Two Trains with that cast at Cygnet and Shiv at Moxie, and the Humanifest. All those were stellar. I was like gonna have like I was like, how did I get so lucky that I'm directing all these plays? They're so good. So yeah, but it's I'm a director and I direct, and so there will be other plays to direct once this is over. Yeah. And so right now I'm trying to or I'm not trying to, I'm just enjoying having my family in the house and like concentrating on the things that make us unique to each other. Like we are really, I don't know if any of us are funny, but together we're all hilarious to each other. To each other, we're hilarious. And learning new things with them is always fun. Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say? Final words?
No, that only that I miss your face, and I'm sad that we can't have a drink and talk about theater in general and your work in specific, or any like challenges in our work right now. I miss that.
No.
I miss not being able to
Problem
call
solving
you
together.
or Jen and go, oh, I'm having this problem in this scene. Let me talk it through with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I deeply, deeply respect you, and I miss you. And I think that you have made a huge impact on me as an artist and on American theater in general. So thank you.
That's a big statement. I'm just trying to have an impact on like
Yeah.
one little corner of the world, like a little bit at a time. I do not believe you, but I do. But I'll take it. You're welcome. That's my new thing. No fake modesty. You're welcome.
Well,
I love you so much. I can't even say, and I can't wait to see what you do next. I'm
likewise.
always really excited.
I really hope to see the basketball play. My God.
Oh man, it's great. You're gonna see it.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.